Choosing what type of braces can be really overwhelming and it can take a lot of time, energy, and research. In this video, I'm going to go through the pros and cons of both Invisalign and traditional metal braces to help you make that choice. I'm also going to share some advice on the types of questions that you should be asking yourself and the types of questions you should ask your orthodontist before making a decision. Hi everyone, my name is Akisha and thank you for joining my channel. On this channel, I take you through my braces journey and I also give you tips and advice and life hacks on how you can help to build up your confidence. In this video today, I'm going to discuss something that I found really hard to decide. So it's either Invisalign versus traditional fixed metal braces. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of each option and also share my advice on some of the questions that you should ask yourself as well as your orthodontist before making a decision on which direction you want to go in. Invisalign are basically clear retainers that you put into your teeth. You get different sets of trays which gradually move your teeth into position. In some cases with Invisalign, you have to get these fill-in type things put on your teeth, and that's just to hold it and then again move it into position gradually. The important thing to note about Invisalign is that you need to wear them for 22 hours a day at least, otherwise they're not going to work. And they are removable. So if discretion is something that is really important to you and being able to remove your braces, then definitely take a look at Invisalign and see if it is a good option for you. Another thing to mention about Invisalign is that not everyone qualifies for it. So double check with your orthodontist if Invisalign is going to be an issue for you or if you can go ahead with that type of treatment. So let's move on to the pros of Invisalign. It's discreet, so people won't really see that you're wearing braces unless they're right up close to you and they're looking inside your mouth. Another thing is that you can remove them. So this could be a pro for you if you are the type of person who wants to remove them to go to a meeting, you've got something coming up and you just want to take them out. Of course, you can also snack. So if you're anything like me and you enjoy snacking, you enjoy sweets, you've got a massive sweet tooth, Invisalign could be a really good option for you because it means that you're able to still snack on the things that you love, as long as you just clean your teeth and you put them back in. Another thing to bear in mind with Invisalign is that you're in control of the situation. So this might be a pro for you, it might be a con, but you're in control because it's up to you to make sure that you're wearing your braces as well. Another pro is that they're not as expensive as they used to be. So before, when I was looking into braces in 2014, they were really expensive compared to the traditional braces, which were making me want to go more towards that side. So nowadays, they're not as expensive and sometimes orthodontists actually offer them for the same price. So double check what your options are in terms of payment and the cost before making a decision. Another thing to be aware of, and this is a massive, massive bonus when it comes to Invisalign, is that because you can move them out, it's not hard to clean your teeth. So that means you can just take them out, you do your normal cleaning routine, and then you can just pop them back in and then that's fine. But bearing in mind that you can actually remove these braces, I would just say with a word of caution, just make sure that you are wearing them for at least 22 hours because if they're not in your mouth, they ain't going to be doing anything. So make sure that you're not wasting money. If you do decide to go with Invisalign, just make sure that you will commit to wearing them. You're going to keep up the cleaning and then everything should be fine as well. Another big pro that I'll go on to is the fact that they are really comfortable compared to traditional metal braces. So with traditional metal braces, you can get sores and ulcers in your mouth, but with Invisalign, it's not as uncomfortable, but people do say that it can be quite irritating on your gums as well. So that is something to be aware of as well. So in terms of the cons, so they ain't invisible, so people are still going to be able to see these braces. So just bear that in mind. If you think that you're going to just get these Invisalign and no one's going to be able to know that you've got braces, that is not the case. They will still see them, so people will still know. Another thing is it's important to note that because it's so easy to not put them back in, if you've got a really low pain threshold, like if you really can't take the pain, you take them out, you need to make sure that you put them back in. So if this is really going to be a problem for you, you need to think to yourself, is Invisalign going to be the best option for me? Or do I want to go with an option that's already fixed in my mouth? So just think about that as well. The fact that you can take them out also means that sometimes people leave them behind in restaurants, they throw them in the bin, they can also misplace them or lose them. So also bear this in mind, is something that should be important to you when making your decision. Now, this other con may not be a problem for you, but if you're anything like me and you're very disorganized, it may be a problem for you to have multiple trays. So the thing with Invisalign is that you need to change your trays every week to 2 weeks, depending on how long your dentist or your orthodontist tells you that you need to. And you're going to have, that means you're going to have a lot of trays, like you're going to have a lot of trays stacked up, and you need to make sure that you're on top of it and that you're always changing it. This means that the pressure is on you, because if you have Invisalign, it means that you are the one that has to take it out, put it in. The pressure is not really on the orthodontist, because they do your pictures, they give you your trays, they let you go, and then it's up to you. But then a massive advantage of Invisalign is that you don't need to go to the orthodontist as much as you would if you were wearing traditional metal braces. So again, it's really up to you what you really want to do, but these are just things that I was taking into consideration. I was also thinking about things like, if I'm going to go to a festival, if I'm going to go out for dinner, if I'm going on holiday or something, am I actually going to be able to take them out? You're going to have to pull these out all of the time. If you're eating something or if you're drinking anything other than water, the only thing that you can have, that you can consume with them in, is water. So really think about that. That means you're going to be out with your friends. If you're drinking alcohol, if you're drinking fizzy drinks, if you're eating things, you need to take it out and then you need to put it back in. Are you going to have somewhere to brush your teeth? And if not, that means you're just going to have loads of saliva and drink and food just sat on your teeth while you've got your Invisalign in. People will be able to see them as well. So just think about that. So moving on to traditional metal braces. So traditional metal braces have been around for longer than Invisalign, and they're fixed braces which have brackets which are basically glued onto your teeth like that and a wire which goes through them. So this basically moves your teeth into the correct position. Not really sure how it works, but that's what they do. They are effective as a treatment because they have been around for a long time, and they can sometimes, they're more recommended than Invisalign to help with serious treatments that need a lot of care as well. In my case, I could have either Invisalign or traditional metal braces, but I was also given the option to have ceramic on the top and the metal brace at the bottom. So in terms of the pros and the cons, let's just start off with the ceramics just to get that out of the way. So ceramic braces, as I said, are basically more discreet. They sit on your teeth and they're basically the same brackets that you would get with the metal ones, except for they're tooth colored, so they act as clear braces. That means that they're not as obvious, but of course, if you've got a metal wire going through them, you can still see that. There are some options to have like a white wire or a different colored wire, so do ask your orthodontist if this is available to you. It was really hard for me to decide between ceramic and metal braces because ceramics are more discreet, but then you can still see them. If you've got elastics on them, they may get dyed, especially if you have turmeric or anything with color. So that's also something to be aware of. So in terms of the pros of the metal braces, they're fixed in your mouth. That means that you're not going to be able to take them out. If things get hard, if they're hurting you a little bit, if you want to just remove them, you can't do that. And that means that it should hopefully not affect your treatment time, because they're stuck in your mouth. You've got to just get on with it, and then that's that. You also don't have to think about it, except for things like cleaning your teeth and have I got food stuck in my brace and things like that. But you generally don't really have to think about it because it's more on your orthodontist to help you to get that desired result than it is on yourself, unlike with the Invisalign braces. Another pro is that they can sometimes be much cheaper than Invisalign, but that seems to be evening and leveling out right now. So double check on the costs for both before making your decision. Another pro is that you can get elastics. So some people love different colored elastics as it helps them to share their personality. So if elastics are something that are up your street, then you should definitely consider that. You can get different colored elastics, and you can make sure that you choose a color that does not make your teeth look yellow and does not dye as well. Another pro that I would say with the traditional braces is that they're not as bulky as they used to be. So when you go into the dentist, they'll show you these small, tiny little things that just show you what it would look like basically on teeth, molds or whatever they call them. You can see there that they're not actually that big. It's just like a tiny little bracket that just goes on your teeth. And in some cases, it's, again, personal preference, it's up to you. I think that those types of braces can actually look quite good on people as well. So it's really up to you. On to the cons then. So in terms of traditional metal braces, one of the biggest cons is the pain. So people say that it hurts a lot when you first get them. You're going to have sores and ulcers and all sorts in your mouth, like you're cutting your cheeks, cutting your lips, cutting your tongue. I don't really know if it's your tongue as well, but some people say that they can be very uncomfortable. So that's something to bear in mind. But saying that, you can also get wax, and you can use Bonjela and salt water to help with that. So that shouldn't really be a deciding factor when you're thinking about braces. Another con is that they aren't discreet. So people will be able to see them. They're in your mouth. You might think that you look like you've got a mouthful of metal. You will have metal in your mouth. But if you're going to go ahead with traditional metal braces, embrace it. Embrace the fact that you're fixing your teeth. Embrace the fact that you're trying to make changes and that you're glowing up or whatever, and just go with it. Another con is that you can get food stuck in your teeth. That's a problem anyway, but of course, when you've got braces on, that means that they can get stuck inside the brackets, and you're constantly going to be looking to check and see if you've got anything stuck in your teeth. It's also more difficult to clean your teeth as well. With Invisalign, you can just pop it out, clean your tooth, and just get on with it. With the traditional fixed metal braces, they're in your teeth. They're not going to go anywhere, and that means that it's going to be really, really hard to floss. It's going to be hard to brush your teeth, and it's going to be hard to take care of your gums. So just bear this in mind as well. Another con that I would say with the traditional metal braces is probably the fact that it's going to really take a toll on your confidence. So if you've got something in your mouth, you might feel uncomfortable with people looking at it, and people might comment on it, but just don't feel like that. Like, just think about the fact that you're helping yourself in whatever way you can. You've decided to make this investment, and it is an investment because as an adult, you have to pay for braces. So just think about what you want your desired outcomes to be as well, and try and focus on that. So those are some of my pros and cons that I thought about when I was trying to decide whether I wanted to go with traditional braces or whether I wanted to go with the Invisalign. It would be great to hear what you think, and if you could just leave a comment below, and just if you've got anything else to add in terms of pros and cons, or if you've got any tips and advice. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you my advice on what you should think about before you get braces. So some of the things that I had to think about, and what my orthodontist actually said to me. So she sat me down and she said, why now? So why do you want to get braces now? What is it going to mean to you? And when I thought about it, for me, a lot of it was about confidence. It's about the fact that I hate the way that my teeth are right now. So she basically asked me a few questions which made me think about my lifestyle and what I would do. You need to understand if you're going to be compliant. So are you going to keep it in if you've got Invisalign? Also be realistic. Is the cost a lot more than what you wanted to spend on braces, or what you can actually afford? Like, think about that as well. Think about things like, if you're going out, obviously in these lockdown situations, it's not the same, but if you're going out with your friends, are you going to feel embarrassed about having traditional braces? Are you going to feel as if you don't want to pull out your braces, like we've got saliva and spit going everywhere, like as you're taking out your Invisaligns? Like, are you going to feel a certain way about either one of them? You probably will, because you're going to have braces, but just think about the fact that you're fixing your teeth. No one can take that away from you, whatever they say. And people may say things, I'm not quite sure, obviously I haven't got my braces on yet, but people may say things, but just don't let them affect the way that you feel about yourself. Another thing that you should ask yourself is, how good am I at brushing my teeth? This is something that I was asking myself, because I was thinking, I'm really, really crap at brushing my teeth. I always get gum disease. I'm just so lazy. I'm not going to be able to do it. But honestly, like if you're spending that much money on braces, just really think, is it something that you can spend a bit more time doing? And is it going to be worth it for you if you want to get your desired result? And that, if those answers are yes, then that shouldn't really be a problem, whether you go with Invisalign or whether you go with the traditional metal braces. I'm quite a traditional person in the sense where if something's been around for a long time, then I'm going to think, wow, it's going to work better. So again, it's up to you with your opinion on whether you think Invisalign or whether you think the metal brace is more important. But if that's a thing for you, then ask your dentist, ask yourself, is there going to be any difference in the type of treatment that I receive from one or the other? And find out what they say. Also ask them what they recommend for you as well. So do they think that you should go with Invisalign instead of the metal brace based on what you've said to them? And also be aware that if they are trying to charge more money for Invisalign and they're trying to push Invisalign onto you as well, like really think about, do I need this? Is it going to be as effective for me? Are they trying to just get money out of me? Think about these things. Hopefully a good orthodontist shouldn't be just trying to milk you for everything that you have, but really just think about what is going to be best for you. Another thing that I personally kept asking was, are there going to be any extra costs? What happens if my treatment extends the time as well? So I've been quoted for 12 months treatment. So for me, it was, what if I need to wear braces for 18, 24 months? Does that mean I need to pay more? And in my case, the answer was no. So double check these things as well and just find out if you're going to be expected to pay anything else for your braces or if it's just going to be all included in the price. Also, you need to wear a retainer for life when you have braces. So find out, what type of retainer am I going to have? I think in my case, my retainers are actually going to be clear plastic. So that means that I'm kind of going to get used to both. I'm going to have the braces for however long, a year or so, and then I'm going to have the retainer. So I'll be able to see like what I think. Also think about, how are you going to feel having, sorry, how are you going to feel having plastic in your mouth all day? I hate things in my mouth. So this means that both traditional and the plastic are not going to really work for me, but I need to have one thing because of these teeth. I need to get them fixed. So really just think about what you can handle, what you can't handle, and think about your pain threshold as well. Like, can you take pain? I know that I don't like to be uncomfortable. If I'm going to be in bed and something's hurting, I would want to take a painkiller. I don't want to be sat there in pain. And so for me, I'd probably take out the Invisalign brace and I'd probably let it calm down a bit, especially if there was something happening with my gums. But just think again for you, like what is going to work best. And also just find out if there will be any more pressure for one rather than the other, in the terms of, some people say that metal braces put more pressure on your teeth than Invisalign do. So just find that out from your dentist. Find out the length of the treatment. Is it going to change with Invisalign? Is it going to give you a desired result? These are some of the questions that I had. So just think about that in terms of when you're speaking to your orthodontist. Just make sure you list down the questions that you have so that you've got everything there and you can just try and get your answers before making your decision. Now, making your decision on your braces is going to be hard. Like, it took me hours, and I'm saying hours of research just to decide which one I wanted to go with. So in my case, I've decided to go with traditional metal braces, and that's because looking at these pros and cons, it really made me feel like I just want to own it. I want to try and work on my own confidence as well and build myself up. So that's why I decided to go with the traditional route. Also, I hate my teeth. I just want to get my desired result and I really want to get it quickly as well. So just speak to your orthodontist and just find out what's best for you. But also remember, it's important to think about yourself and what you need, why you're doing it, and exactly how you think you're going to feel as well. Thank you for listening. So next week, I'm going to be sharing a video on more tips and advice, and also be sharing my braces journey with you. So I'll be getting my braces soon. So I'll be telling you exactly what happened when I went in to get my traditional braces and the tips that you need to prepare yourself, including essentials and things to buy. So watch this space for another video coming soon.